Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another theory video, of which we have been doing loads over the past month or so. Today, we're talking about part 3 of the FNAF Musical prequel series, FNAF Taking Back Fazbears. We've already done theories on the other 2 parts of the video, some benign, some adverse. It's up to you on how you take them. I'd like to quickly run down my plans for the next couple of months though, because I've been rather quiet with videos recently and that's not really a good thing. So, at the moment I've got a Secret of the Mimic video coming probably around mid to late October, a Midnight Motorist video coming sometime before Christmas if I can actually solve it before then, a FNAF virus theory video coming mid-November, a FNAF virus reaction video coming early December, a FNAF musical timeline video in mid-December, and to top it all off, some Help Wanted 2 gameplay videos sprinkled in the mix. So, as you can see, we've got a busy few months ahead of us, and those are only the majority of videos I have planned. There's still a couple I want to tentatively do. And to top it all off, I want to finally announce that 2025 is the year that I plan to do a full official FNAF timeline, to neatly layer out and present my take on the lore and the game continuity. Don't even get me started on the books. So, now that the schedule is out of the way, let's get on with the video at hand. So first off, let's talk about what we saw during Shadows of Agony, most prominently, the death of Vanny. At the end of Shadows of Agony, after Glitchtrap and Vanny do their little fight, Glitchtrap teleports Vanny into his hands, grabs her by the neck, says a cool little monologue, and then proceeds to disintegrate Vanny. Now obviously, this scene raises quite a few questions, the main one being, what on earth just happened? Fortunately, I'm here to answer that question for you. We know that Glitchtrap is exactly what he's labelled as, a piece of computer malware. In other terms, he's a virus. No, not that kind of virus. And what do viruses like to do? Corrupt things. The way I like to think of it is this scene in Avengers Age of Ultron, where Ultron basically just destroys Jarvis. Instead of Ultron and Jarvis plugging Glitchtrap and Vanny into the situation, and you basically have what happened here. So, does this mean Vanny is gone from the FNAF Musical completely? Most likely, yes. But if we take what we know about her from Shadows of Agony, we do have evidence that she may return. When Elizabeth first encounters Vanny, Vanny goes on to say about how she tried to avoid this, even going as far to relocate her file. This tells us that she's a being that stays on top of things, someone who has backup plans. So, would you really go into battle with Glitchtrap knowing she's probably going to die in the process? I'd like to think not, but the way she seemed so surprised when Glitchtrap revealed that he was recalibrating his sensors tells me that we most likely won't be seeing her again. I did also take another look at the trailers for the musicals to see if there were any shots of Vanny that we haven't yet seen, but unfortunately there weren't. Next up, let's talk about the song for the musical. At the time of recording, the song has not been released just yet, but it may be out by the time this video releases, so maybe future me will finally get something right. We know from the musical's title that the episode will be revolving mainly around Freddy and the gang trying to get back into Freddy's, whilst Elizabeth tries to defeat Glitchtrap from the inside out. Randomencounters has also said that this musical will be more like classic RE, if you know what I mean, meaning the song should be similar to the original FNAF musicals, leading me to think that this song will be sung by the main 4 animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, along with Elizabeth, and there's also a small possibility of Evil Dirtbag with a chainsaw getting to sing as well, but don't quote me on that. Another thing about this song is that I think we actually get a small sneak peek at what it'll sound like. If you go to the ending of The Dark Remains, where it teases Shadows of Agony, you can actually hear the instrumental chorus of Shadows of Agony playing in the background. Similarly, if you go to the end of Shadows of Agony where it teases Taking Back Fazbears, you can hear that the musical playing in the background could very possibly be the music for the next episode.
You sent us to a death trap!
And yet here you stand.
I'm Back Fazbear, and this is my restaurant!
Something's in there with them.
The next thing I want to cover in this video is not only the return of Nate, but Mark II and what it means for the lore. The original FNAF Musical supercut starts off with Mark taking the night shift at Freddy's, and up until now we assumed that he was the new Fazbear employee. However, his cameo in Shadows of Agony clearly proves that incorrect. So, what happens between Shadows of Agony and Night 1 that causes Mark to end up with the night shift? Well, to answer that, we've got to take a look at Nate. In Shadows of Agony, Nate is just a pizza delivery boy, man, for Freddy's. Judging by the teasers for Taking Back Fazbears, Nate is going to play a more significant role in the next episode. So, I think it's likely that Nate will get a promotion to the night shift, quit his job at the end of the series, giving Mark the night shift and leading into the events of the original FNAF Musicals. Or, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they decide to go in a completely different direction. I mean, there is a time skip between Virus and Night 1, so maybe Nate quits then. But RE has said previously that they want the ending of the prequel series to tie in nicely with the beginning of the main supercut. Speaking of things tying together, it brings me back to my favourite piece to mention during these musical theory videos.
Was that the bite of 87?
No, in fact, the bite of 88. Like I've said before, I will mention it in every theory video we do here until it happens, because to me at least, it's getting more and more likely. We have our two main pieces of evidence from the supercut. This,
saw kids burst in tears, a bear start eating a face.
And this.
You can't legally work that many hours. You can't legally let stinky animatronics bite children either.
Hey, it was an accident.
But I can actually start to see how it pans out in the actual musical. At the end of the trailer, we see Glitchtrap grab Freddy and lift him up to face level. Now, obviously this couldn't have happened in any of the other previous episodes, because Glitchtrap and Freddy haven't yet come face to face, unless you count that one scene at the end of Web of Lies, but I'm not. This scene could very well be Glitchtrap grabbing Freddy and forcing him to bite off some random kid's face. In Night 5, when Purple Guy brings up the incident, Freddy does claim it was an accident, so this could really be it. Whether it happens in Taking Back Fazbears for a cliffhanger, or in Virus, I'm not too sure, but the only thing we can do is wait and find out. Now, onto the really juicy stuff. Phone Guy's case of crippling insanity, or crippling hands. You get the point. If you watched the first couple of minutes of Shadows of Agony, you would have noticed that Phone Guy decided to chop off his hands. Obviously, this doesn't turn out very well for him later on, but for the most part he seems to enjoy it. But the one question we were all left asking was, why would he do something like this? Is it really just that he's a maniac with some serious endorphins issues, or is there actually some reasoning to this insanity? Well, fear not, fellow theorists, because this act of de-handing was in fact a calculated risk. We know that Phone Guy's favourite pastime is killing kids and stuffing them into bear suits, and we also know that Freddy's is scheduled for a board inspection within the next 4 days by the time Shadows of Agony is over. Right before Phone Guy gets rid of his hands, we see him bagging up the hands of none other than the safety inspector, whom he killed in the previous episode. So, how does this all tie together? I believe that Phone Guy is going to attach Safety Inspector's hands onto his own wrists, surgically or otherwise. But for what purpose? It's actually quite simple. It's to prevent him from being traced back to any crime he commits, leaving him free to kill as many kids as he wants. Obviously, with Glitchtrap now roaming around Freddy's like he owns the place, we'll just have to see how well Phone Guy's plans pan out. Almost there, but there's two more things I want to talk about in this video. The first one being Glitchtrap. Yes, he gets his own little section in the video because he's quite possibly the single most lore-influential character, but also because he's my favourite. In the last video, we theorised that Glitchtrap hates humans because of the bite of 83. We do now know that he was initially a therapy program whose methods were deemed too extreme, before being swiftly locked behind 10,000 lines of uncrackable encryption code. When Elizabeth burned the old computer files to ash as per Phone Guy's request, she also burned down Glitchtrap's prison, leaving him free to download himself into the decommissioned bunny suit. But what was the reason that he was locked away for? And whilst we were at it, what kind of therapy was Glitchtrap meant to do in the first place? Let's take a look back to when Glitchtrap was first set free. The second he's released, he instantly tries to kill Elizabeth. Again, when he encounters Phone Guy, his first instinct is to grab and kill him, obviously as given because of the beef they have, but still. Do you see where I'm going with this though? No, probably not. Now, let's look at the actual FNAF timeline, somewhere around 1983, but before the bite. specifically the death of Charlotte Emily. Now do you see where I'm going with this? I believe that this therapy Glitchtrap was designed for is for none other than, wait for it, Henry Emily, or, you know, William after the bite decides to destroy Dave's head. But this could also work. Glitchtrap has been exposed to so much death during his lifetime, i.e. Charlotte's death, Phone Guy's murders, that he's taken it into his own hands to become a murderer. Makes sense to say the least, but again, only time will tell. Speaking of Henry, we are now at the climax and final part of the video. Who is Dheusta playing, and who on earth is matpat's character? If you've been keeping a keen eye on teasers, socials, or you just happen to be a Patreon subscriber, you will have known for quite a while that Dheusta is planned to be a new character in the FNAF Musical series. We've seen him a couple times, specifically in the same fuzzy bear suit that Phone Guy wears. Or is it? Because if you look at Phone Guy, you'll notice that there's two key differences. Number one being the gloves. Phone Guy has large black gloves on his hands, whereas Dheusta's gloves are a part of the suit entirely. Number 2, take a look at the underlayers they're both wearing. Phone Guy's is a turquoise colour, whereas Dheusta has a simple black one underneath his suit. Surprisingly, we've seen the same black underlayer at the end of Ground Zero as well, but I'm unsure if it does mean anything that far back in time. Now, obviously this means that we've got two different characters here, but who is who? Up until Shadows of Agony, we thought that Phone Guy was William Afton, but then Glitchtrap went ahead and said this.
Wait, you're not William Afton?
Which basically screwed everything up. It's still possible that Phone Guy is William Afton, and that Glitchtrap just recognises a different face to go with the name, but for now it's hard to say. Dheusta, on the other hand, appears to also be playing a major character in these musicals. At the moment, there's only two possible characters he could be playing. Allow me to bring your attention to Discord, specifically on December 31st, 2023. Username AMintyLemon would go on to post two possibilities on their thoughts about what could happen in Dark Remains, being that Katie's unknown character is actually Charlotte Emily, and that Henry would show up at some point. Gwen actually responded to this message, saying that one of those possibilities is definitely not true. Now, the one that we can instantly rule out is Katie playing Charlotte Emily, because we know that she's acting as Lizzie, meaning that Henry showing up could actually be possible, or it's just Gwen being a troll again. So, at the moment, I believe that Matt actually plays William, as he has been, but Dheusta is playing Henry, who's pretended to be William for a period of time, hence Glitchtrap not recognising Matt's Afton. But hey, that's just a theory. A musical theory. But remember, make sure you check out Random Encounters and all the awesome work they do over on the channel. I'll leave a link to the FNAF Musical playlist and the entire channel in the description. If you want to catch up on what we theorised last video from Shadows of Agony, click on one of the videos on screen now. Or, if you want to catch up on FNAF the Musical, click on the other video to watch Shadows of Agony in all of its glory. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.